Hello everyone and welcome back to the Calvin Tobin Show. I am your host, Calvin Tobin. Today we have a lot to talk about, so let's get right into it. Alright, the Western Conference Finals have officially kicked off and Game 1 could have not gone any better. The final score ended up being 120 to 114 with the Phoenix Suns taking the victory in a 1-0 series lead. Now, unfortunately, Kawhi Leonard and Chris Paul did not play in Game 1 because Chris Paul was out due to health protocols and Kawhi Leonard has a knee sprain. Now, in this game, the All-Stars showed up. Paul George dropped 34 points while getting 7 threes, and Devin Booker dropped 40 points while getting a triple-double. Devin Booker is a special player, and he is finally getting to truly show it in the playoffs on the big screen, because not a lot of people see how special he is, especially because Kobe Bryant took him under his wing, and that is finally paying off with his first playoff appearance, because the Phoenix Suns are one of the, if not the scariest teams that any team will ever have to face in this entire playoff run, because the Phoenix Suns blew by the Lakers starting Game 3. They swept the Denver Nuggets, and now we are going to see if this game is maybe going to be a sweep, or you can go 5, 6, or 7 games, because Devin Booker, Chris Paul, and DeAndre Ayton are no joke. And with Devin Booker, how dominant this game was, especially with the triple-double. The last time that a Phoenix Suns player got a triple-double, specifically in the playoffs, was all the way back in 2005 when Steve Nash got it. That's when Steve Nash was playing. That just shows you how inconsistent that the Phoenix Suns have been not going to the playoffs. But Chris Paul is probably, if not the biggest reason that the Phoenix Suns are in their position that they are in right now today. Alright, now speaking of the playoffs, let's talk some Eastern Conference. The 76ers are out of the playoffs in the second round again. The last time they went to the Eastern Conference Finals was when they had to face Kawhi Leonard, and that one lucky hell of a shot where it bounced like maybe 4, 5, 6 times, and it was a Game 7 buzzer beater in 2019. But they're out in the second round yet again, and this time it's to a young dominant team that should not even be in the Eastern Conference Finals, Atlanta Hawks. Now, don't get me wrong, Gallinari, Trae Young, Clint Capella, all those players are great talents and they have a lot to show for it, but Philadelphia should be the one in the Eastern Conference Finals. But here's a reason that they shouldn't be, is because specifically in Game 4 and 5, they blew back-to-back 20 plus point leads. Like, how do you do that? Like, I get that maybe a team can come back even a little bit and make the lead a little less larger, maybe like down to 10, 15, or even 8 to 12 points. But 20 in Game 4 and 26 points in Game 5, like, how do you do that? Like, seriously, how do you do that? That just shows that Joel Embiid should not be called the process, because the only reason he is called that is because he promised Philadelphia a championship. But the Eagles already did that for him. But said Joel Embiid, I get he had a dominant series and he left it all out on the floor, having multiple 35-plus point games and showing that he is the MVP that maybe he should have won over Jokic. But that is a debate that we can talk about later. But Joel Embiid, like, other than him, because he left out everything on the floor, like he tweeted, he left out everything on the floor with a torn meniscus. If he didn't have that, how much more dominant could he have been, though? But anyways, I'd say the biggest reason, other than the 2 20-point leads, is Ben Simmons in Game 5, 6, and 7. The guy shot 6 for 14 and like really only make 6 shots and only shot 14 times? Are you kidding me? I get that Ben Simmons is a great and phenomenal defensive player and maybe should have won it over Rudy Gobert, but that's another debate. But Ben Simmons cannot be afraid to shoot the ball, because the higher your confidence is, it doesn't matter how bad you are, the higher your confidence is in any situation, that ball is going in the basket. But if you're scared to shoot the ball, don't make it look so obvious and make a smart pass for it. But it's in the playoffs. You got to be able to put up shots, because you never know if it's going to go in, and never knowing how the situation could play out, especially at the free throw line. Making only 34% of his shots, that's just completely ridiculous, especially by a playoff player. It doesn't matter if you are a defensive player, it's a whole nother beast from the regular season to the playoffs. You gotta have your A game every single minute of every single game. Okay, now let's talk some baseball. Ronald Acuna finally hit 100 home runs. Absolutely fantastic and dominant player, and he could be, maybe, because this might be too early to say, he could be one of those players that might hit the 700 mark, even though only 3 players have done it, as in Barry Bonds, Henry Aaron, and Babe Ruth. He could be that 4th player if Albert Pujols doesn't hit it. He could be that 4th player to hit 700 home runs, because he is that guy that can hit a home run on any given pitch if it's the right pitch and hittable, because it can go yard anytime he is up to bat, because he is one of those dudes that every pitcher should be afraid to throw at. Now, speaking of home runs and dominance, Shohei Ohtani is an unbelievable player, because last week he pulled off what probably no pitcher, maybe Babe Ruth, because he was a pitcher, what no other pitcher has done, especially in a week span, which was get a win in pitching, allowing only 1 earned run, getting 5 strikeouts on 6.5 innings, and hitting 6 home runs along with 7 RBIs. Like, are you kidding me? Shohei Ohtani is that freaking dude. I mean, that freaking dude. He might be, other than Vladimir Guerrero Jr., he might be the scariest player alive right now. And like, if, let's just say, for just a little bit of opinion and debate, if Shohei Ohtani can keep up what he's doing, 73 strikeouts, 2.7 ERA, 27% batting average, and with 23 home runs, if he can keep up this kind of talent or kind of production all season long and for the rest of his career, especially in pitching, he could be known as the greatest player to ever play. Because what player, seriously, like, let's just say he keeps this up for the rest of his career, what player do you know that can hit 1,000 strikeouts and 500 home runs? Like, who do you know that can do that, excluding Babe Ruth, even though he didn't hit 1,000 strikeouts but 700 plus home runs? Name a player that could possibly do that if he keeps up the production, which is very hard to do, because Shohei Ohtani is a scary dude. And if Vladimir Guerrero Jr. doesn't win the MVP in the AL, the only other person that is going to win that in the American League is going to be Shohei Ohtani, who stole it from him. And if he does, deserves every ounce of that MVP award. Now, speaking of baseball, the Rays are bringing up somebody that maybe you guys have heard of, and his name is Wander Franco. He is the #1 overall prospect in baseball for 2021, and he is finally being brought up to the big leagues to finally play with the Tampa Bay Rays. How much of a difference can he possibly be? Because we don't know. He's about to show us. And maybe Wander Franco could be a huge difference maker when he starts playing, because the Tampa Bay Rays are on a little bit of a scary streak right now. They have lost 6 in a row, 2 to the White Sox, and got swept by the Seattle Mariners. Not looking so good for the Tampa Bay Rays, because they fell from first place in the league. Now they're in 5th place in the entire American League at 43-30. Hopefully Wander Franco can help them out and get them back to their dominant ways. Okay, that's the end of the Calvin Tobin Show. I'm your host, Calvin Tobin. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel so you don't miss out on any sports media. And follow me on Instagram at Calvin Tobin Show so you don't miss out on any sports news. And I'm out.